What is it that draws you to a particular story? Is it seeing the main character and the rest of the cast struggle and go on a personal journey to discover themselves? Or do you like it when you can sit back and enjoy your character responding to all of the craziness going on in their world? Today, we'll be talking about the craziness and how to make it engaging in a plot-driven story. I'm Jake with the Writer's Workout. Let's get writing. Plot-driven stories are just that. Stories where the plot is the main driving force of the story. The characters are the ones taking a backseat and letting the plot lead them on the adventure. There's an external conflict that's causing your main character to take action. Some examples of external conflicts are finding a treasure, solving a murder, saving the world from the dystopian government. This doesn't mean that the characters are always flat or unchanging. It just means that you aren't giving your characters moments to reflect on themselves and question why they do what they do. They already know who they are and are ready to take action. A plot-driven story has three distinct elements: an external conflict, a high-concept plot, and a plot twist. As mentioned earlier, external conflicts are problems caused by an outside force. External conflicts can be as significant as stopping a war, or as small as getting to work on time. Characters are still active in a plot-driven narrative, but the external conflict is the driving force behind the character's actions. Frodo Baggins was driven to Mount Doom to destroy the One Ring, not because he wanted to, but because he was compelled by his desire to protect his home from Sauron. This is an important element to consider when writing an external conflict. The character you focus on should have a reason for getting involved. It's not that having a character do something just because it's the right thing to do is bad. However, without something to supplement that belief, it may make your story challenging to get through. If you want a more in-depth look at the aspects of conflict, we have a blog post linked in the description and a Back to Basics video to help you learn more. In a plot-driven story, it's rarely ever just one conflict that's taking center stage. There's an overarching conflict, sure, but along the way, your characters will run into some challenges. Conflict can come from anything, but at the source of conflict between characters is often that their values contradict one another, leading to disagreement. In Star Wars, after Luke and Han steal some stormtrooper uniforms, they get some information about an important prisoner on the Death Star, Princess Leia. Luke, because of his nature as a person, wants to go rescue her. However, Han doesn't want anything to do with this, as it wasn't what he was paid for. Luke can't rescue Leia without Han's help, and convincing him to do so because it's the right thing to do isn't working. Conflicts like this among your characters allow their personality traits to shine, and allow for you to make them stand out among the rest of your characters. As you consider your conflict, ask yourself the following questions. What is the external force driving my character to act? Does my character have a reason to get involved? Do my characters have values that come into conflict with one another? As you go through your conflict, these questions can help you flesh it out and get some real meat on the bones of your overall story. Speaking of bones, a high-concept plot is the main idea of your story that can be summarized in just a few sentences. Think of it like an elevator pitch. My main character is a famous warrior who must stop the evil wizard from attaining an ancient relic. The relic can be used to destroy the world. When writing a plot-driven story, it's important to know what you want the plot to be ahead of time. The simpler the premise, the better. The reason I say this is because if your plot is simple from a high level, you can expand upon it by growing outward and more unique. It also makes your job of establishing a goal for your characters early on easier. An example of this would be, character A loves character B. However, they are getting married to character C in a few days. This high-level concept establishes a few things. 1. The characters involved. 2. A goal. And 3. A time by which the goal needs to be accomplished. The third point there may sound a bit strange, but the time in which something needs to be done is important to a plot. There's this idea of running out of time that creates tension. We can talk about tension in detail in a future video. The time aspect doesn't need to have a specific date attached to it either. It can be X goal needs to be done before Y event happens. Stories involving ideas of revolution or mysteries all draw on this formula. In the movie Clue, the cast needs to discover who the murderer is before they all get murdered themselves or before the police arrive. So, with this in mind, let's ask ourselves the following. What is my plot summarized in one sentence? What is the goal that my characters need to accomplish? What is the time that the cast needs to accomplish this goal? What are the consequences if they don't do it before or on time? These are just a few different ideas that can help you form your high-level concept. Using these questions and tips will allow you to get a good start on where you want your story to go, and how you want it to end. However, if you've ever been on a road trip, you know that you'll run into some unforeseen circumstances. Plot twists are an important aspect of plot-driven stories because they give you the chance to subvert audience expectations. A plot twist adds another layer to your story and makes it more exciting for your readers. Using the high-level concept plot that we came up with earlier, let's discuss a possible twist. The evil wizard is actually the main character's long-lost brother. A couple of you may be rolling your eyes at this sentence because it's a common trope used as a gotcha moment by subpar writing. A good plot twist has evidence placed early on that alludes to something that gets revealed later. This is one of the core concepts that we use called foreshadowing. In the video game Call of Duty Black Ops, you have a character who is speaking to you throughout the entire game. However, in the second to last mission, it's revealed that this character who you have been speaking with has actually been dead for 5 years. There are clues all throughout the game that point to this being the case, and not everything being what it seems, such as other characters not acknowledging the presence of the dead character whenever he is supposedly around. This planting of clues and nods are the key. If you have a twist just for the sake of having a twist, you might shock someone on their first time going through your narrative. However, they might be annoyed if they go back through and find that there was nothing that alluded to this being the case. From the movie, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, there are 2 examples that stick out in my mind. One that's a decent plot twist, and one that's awful. In the film, there's a group of teenagers who go to an island for a vacation that they won by guessing a trivia question right. That question was, what is the capital of Brazil? The answer they gave was Rio de Janeiro. What makes this a decent twist is that a person who knows the actual answer immediately knows something is wrong, creating a sense of tension via dramatic irony, because they are aware of something that the characters aren't. The other twist that's in the movie is the reveal of the person who set them up. There's a character named Benson, and as the killer in the film goes on his rampage, it's revealed later on that he was the one who set them up. This was alluded to by the name of the killer being revealed, Ben, and he was Ben's son, or Ben's son. If you weren't laughing already because of how absurd this is, then allow me to point out why this doesn't work. The clue is so subtle to the point that nobody would guess it on the first viewing, but after the reveal, it's so obvious you're left annoyed for the rest of the day. We could delve more into the specifics of elements of plot twists in a future video. Before I end up frustrating myself about this dumb movie, let's ask ourselves the following questions. Do I want to create a plot twist in my story? Do I have hints to this plot twist placed throughout my prose? Are any of the hints to my plot twist too obvious? Asking yourself these questions as you write a twist, you won't just shock the reader on first viewing, but you'll also give them that aha moment when they read back through. Over the course of this video, we have learned what a plot-driven story is, and just a few of the different components that you can use to make them interesting. Start with an external conflict that forces your character to act, have a high concept plot that easily summarizes your story, and sprinkle in a well-planned plot twist. Share some of your responses on our forum, and check out some more details linked in the blog post in the description below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more writing videos, I'm Jake with the Writer's Workout. Thanks for watching.